all of the 26 qualifiers competing today. You can never rule them out, can you? Some skimmers. That's a good fish. Welcome to Larford Lakes. We're here for the 2023 Golden Reel Final. The weather looks absolutely perfect. There are fish moving everywhere. The competitors are just arriving. They're all here for an 8 o'clock breakfast. We're going to be drawing at 9 o'clock and the hours of the match are actually going to be 12 until 5. The 26 qualifiers are going to be competing here today for a top prize of £35,000. We have also got blockers fishing, which are there to take away that end peg advantage. But first of all, let's have a quick catch up with event organiser Phil Briscoe.
Good morning, Jamie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Come on, give us some predictions for today, mate. Well, you've literally only just opened those gates.
Yeah.
8 o'clock breakfast for spectators. Oh no, for competitors, 8 o'clock.
Especially the competitors about 8 o'clock, and they'll get a full breakfast. Once the breakfast's over and a few things have been said to them in the cafe where we can go through a few of the rules, etc., it's down to the podium for a live 9 o'clock draw.
What are your predictions, Phil? The lake is looking stunning.
What are my predictions? What do you mean? Who do I think's going to win it?
Well, whereabouts? Come on, because you can usually see where the fish are showing. Have you got any favourite? If you were fishing today, where would you want to be?
Jamie, honestly, it can be won off any peg today. I think if I was fishing it today, I'd be quite happy drawing around in the middle of the lake, just past the aerator. But I think the winning pegs today, will come off the Burbank. Now, we've got 2 flying pegs behind the island. And then as you come down the Burbank, any of those pegs over there, and I literally mean any of those pegs, can win it. You've got deeper water for margin fishing. It'll be rammed with fish down the shallow bank, but catching them is another thing. Right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 Golden Reel Final here at Larford. Can I remind you all, it's fishery pellets only. Your net rules today are going to be £75 a net, not 100, £75 a net, and you must put a silvers net in. Alright, that's important. If you do go over £75, you will be knocked back to £75. And if there's any silvers in with any of the carp, your net will be disqualified. Fishing times today is going to be 12 till 5. Go and see Big Gary down the bottom there and get your bets on. Some pretty good odds at the minute, I think. I think it's Des Sharp's the favourite. Who's Des Sharp?
He's not here yet.
No, oh, he's there. I have never... Call you up now in the qualification order.
The draw is now completed. These are all of the 26 qualifiers competing today. and what we'll be doing is working our way around the lake where we can physically show you exactly where these anglers have actually drawn. Mr. Pillay.
How are you?
I'm alright, how are you? What do you feel about your draw? Come on.
Alright.
Yeah?
I'd prefer to be on the other bank, I think.
Would you?
For the depth and that, but there's a load of fish moving here today. There's a lot of fish knocking this rope and there's fish in these lilies.
Bit of a breeze on it now as well.
Yeah, boiling round this stuff. It feels like it's like the last part of the lake with a bit of a feature.
Right.
Like there's no more lilies, so a lot of people on the might just hopefully come see. I might catch a few on the rod.
Morning, Jake.
Hello, Jamie.
You fancy your draw, mate? What do you reckon?
I didn't want to be on this bank.
Yeah, right, okay.
No, it wasn't too good in practice, but arriving this morning, there's quite a lot of fish here, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, just good to be in the final, isn't it, really?
It is, mate. It is, mate. Well, good luck, pal.
Cheers, thank you.
So, Phil, the draw has been done. Now you've seen the pegs and where people have drawn. Come on, we're asking you.
Well, now I know where people have drawn. My bet goes on Steve Forster. Steve is on peg 17.
Yep.
Dangerous peg that. As is peg 16, so I've had a double flutter. Steve Barraclough is on 16.
Right.
That's where I think it'll be one. Okay. But fish are starting to rack up in the eddies already. People that have got to the pegs early and said, oh, I don't really stand a chance here. I've seen a lot of fish. Honestly, it could be one anywhere.
What do you reckon with this? It's quite a chilly breeze. Are you still predicting a slow start?
Yes. I honestly think the first 2 hours of the match will be steady eddy. If they use the common sense, and I mean these are pros, so they're going to use the common sense, but there's a lot of silvers to be caught early down that far side on the Spessy burr, on the match burr. Bomb and pellet I would revert to on this grass bank to start with, and after 2 hours fishing, those fish should start racking up in the edges, and that's where the action will start. That's where it'll be won and lost in that last 3 hours is going to be the big counter.
Well, the weather seems to be changing every few minutes. We've now got quite a strong breeze on it now, and it's quite a cold wind. You can see the flags flapping up there, and there is hints of rain in the air as well. We think there is rain forecast at some stage over the next couple of hours. We've just got a few minutes before the start. All the anglers are ready now. There are fish moving all around the lake, and we spoke to a few of the anglers. A lot of them kind of fancy the peg if it's going to fish hard, which is something that I've not really seen on here before, because usually they're expecting a big weight to win. However, because the conditions have changed, then those pegs that generally aren't pegs that can win when the lake fishes well, they're still capable of 80-90 pounds, you know, and so that has really put more anglers in the mix from their draw. But we're due to go in a few minutes, and it's going to be interesting to see if the predicted slow start is actually going to happen. Well, we've been fishing about 20 minutes now. There's been a few fish caught. The odd net fish. There's probably been about 12 net fish reported all the way around.
Steve Forster on 17 just landed a fish.
Steve Forster's just caught one. He's already had at least 2 net fish that we know about and some skimmers. That's a good fish. We'll be fishing about 30 minutes, and we think Steve Forster's probably in front with 3 net fish and some skimmers as well. He is in a favoured area, but we've got to be honest and say that we've seen fish all the way around, you know, whether it's been in the shallows or out in the open water. The fish do seem pretty well spread out at the moment. Dean Lock into a good fish. He had to add sections on to follow that one out. Christian Jones is into a fish. I think he had certainly 1 fish, maybe 2 early on, fishing to his right with the pole up against that big bed of lilies. However, now As you can see, he's on a rod and line. I'm not sure if he's on a small method feeder or whether it's actually bomb and pellet.
Christian Jones in another fish playing it at the moment. Christian Jones on peg 8.
So this will keep him right in it. So we're pretty sure this might be his third net fish that we know about. So that's really keeping him in it. They're the stamp that you need today. Matt Pilley's also switched to what we think is a bomb. He's into another fish. This is the first fish we've seen Andy Power catch. He's just been fishing on the tip, really patiently, firing a few pellets out with a catapult and just been very patient. This is just the next peg from where he drew last year. In last year's final he was one peg to the left. Not an area he wants to be in. And possibly the year prior to that, I think he was either down on peg 1 or 2. So he hasn't strayed far in the last 3 finals. He's lost it. We're currently watching Sam Brown over on the Burbank. No stranger to these big finals. Didn't mess around with that fish. It's a good fish as well. He didn't mess about with that. Well, we're up at the top end of Match Lake now, going into the bowl. This is Harry. From what we understand, he's probably got the most fish that we've heard of. We think he's got five good fish. That's the best we've heard of on this bank. We're behind Harry and he's had the odd liner. He keeps striking. He's obviously fishing on the deck on that long pole, but he's into another fish. As we make it out, this will be his 6th net fish. It's like a skimmer, that one. But there aren't as many fish moving around like there were over here. There were quite a lot on the surface. Has he had any more net fish? Oh right, ticking over then. Nice one, thanks. So he has got a couple of fish. He's got some skimmers, and as you can see, he's on his top kit now. Just watching for a second, just to see if he is catching those skimmers quickly. Got a bit more. Ian Giddens has just netted a fish. He's further down the Burbank, down halfway down the Burbank, which I'll work my way down to in a moment. Yeah, it looks like he's catching steady. Roach, that one. So yeah, Des is ticking over. Well, we've been fishing just over an hour. The rain has just about held off. However, the slow start that we, or most people predicted, has actually happened. There are a few fish caught. I think the most fish, when I say fish I mean net fish, the most net fish that have been caught by any single angler we think is about 5, and some of them are small F1s. There's the odd really big carp caught, but it is just all the way through the lake. It's such a slow start. There's quite a few skimmers being caught, lots of them are accidents. I honestly think that if it carries on like this, I think there will be some anglers considering going for skimmers just to boost their weight until hopefully later on, when their margin lines and other lines kick in. That is something that is a possibility on here, because there are, you know, loads and loads of skimmers and bream in here. You can't win with them, but they can certainly boost your weight, certainly if you're going to have a run of fish a little bit later on. We think Harry's doing the best right over at the top end. We think he's got 5 net fish. He did lose one when I was there as well. One person's told me that they are good sized fish, but someone else has said they're not so big. But still, if he's got 5 net fish, he's doing really well with that. Steve Forster over on the far bank, he's doing well. He's got about 3 or 4 net fish, but he's got some skimmers to go along with that. And then it's just the odd 1 or 2 fish here and there. Even the MPEGs aren't running away with it, you know. Even over on that far end there, on that far MPEG, he has caught some fish, but lots of them are skimmers as well. So there isn't one area of the lake that is really doing better than any other. So it's very, very even right the way through, going into this second hour.
Ryan Bennett landed a fish on 21. Ryan Bennett.
Dale Shepherd's just netted a fish. He's really been struggling down here. He's down on peg 2 on the grass bank. We've been fishing 90 minutes now and it's very, very close. We think 6 net fish is the best so far. We know Christian Jones just behind me up here on peg 8. We know that he's got 6 net fish. Harry as well, right up at the top end on peg 13. We think he's got 6 net fish. So they are probably doing the best. However, there are quite a few anglers probably on 3 and 4 fish. But what we're seeing now after 90 minutes is that lots of these anglers are now going for small fish, or they're going for silver fish on a short line. There's 1 or 2 anglers doing it on a top kit, just trying to catch roach, little skimmers. And there are some anglers over on that burr. Ian Giddins is one of them, where he's actually fishing a little bit further out, possibly about 7 or 8 metres. On the bottom for silverfish, just trying to boost their weight. That's pretty much a sign of how hard it is for some of the anglers. There's 1 or 2 anglers over there on the burr that have got 2 or 3 net fish, and that is it. But when you're looking at the top number of fish being caught up to now is just 6, then obviously everything can change in a matter of 5 minutes, can't it? So it's really, really tight after 90 minutes, and you know, we know it's going to pick up. It's just a matter of time before we see it slowly start to get better and better. Certainly as we're fishing until 5 o'clock. Ryan Lingard literally just cast back out and it's gone straight round again. Just firing a few pellets out there and then casting his bomb over the top. This section has definitely peaked up, and whilst he's feeding straight away, just as he's putting that fish in the net, if we look up to his right, there is that man Andy Power again, into another fish. You can never rule him out, can you? Well, we've been fishing 2 hours now and it's still pretty slow. There are some decent fish being caught all around the lake, the odd F1, the odd decent carp. Nobody is running away with it by far. We think at this stage, after 2 hours, we think that the best winning weight is about 7 net fish. However, because it is fishing so hard, and quite a few people predicted that, there are quite a lot of anglers now fishing for silverfish or fishing for anything. So we've got quite a few anglers that are fishing on top kits, they're fishing with maggots, casters, and they're putting some silverfish in the net. Now some anglers are doing it literally top kit to hand. Up there, there's 1 or 2 anglers literally catching on a top kit, but over on the other bank we've got Ian Giddins who's over there. He's fishing for silvers now. However, whilst it is deeper over on that bank closer in, he is fishing at about 8 to 10 metres out for him, and he's been ticking over nicely, putting silverfish in the net. We've got the anglers here down at the bottom end. I'm currently behind, this is Lee Thornton. He's really been struggling. They've all been struggling down here at this bottom end. Lee is actually peg 1, as you can see. Next to him is Dale Shepherd, peg 2, and he's been struggling as well. So it is hard. Lee has been putting 1 or 2 silverfish in the net. Now we don't know if he's fishing for them at the minute, you know, but you know, the anglers that are fishing for silverfish are catching a few. Small roach, odd skimmer. Behind the island up there, another angler who's definitely doing that at the minute is Des Ship. He's been struggling up there. He's got 2 F1s, but he has got quite a few small roach and skimmers literally on the top kit. Now there were lots of fish cruising around up there. I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, but it is still flat calm up there. There were lots of fish cruising about. However, we've just had a little bit of rain. It has gone cooler with that wind, and there aren't as many cruising about now. So quite a few of the anglers are just trying to put anything in the net. We're sure, we're positive it is going to pick up at some stage. Fishing until the times that we are, we know it's going to pick up. It's just a case of when and which end of the lake might be better, or whether, you know, the fish will be spread out. So at the minute, after 2 hours, it's, for most anglers, it's a case of just trying to put anything in the net whilst their other lines kick in. We're currently behind Lee Thornton on peg 1. As you can see, that breeze is blowing down here, but it's certainly not fishing any better down here. He's got the blocker on his left, and they've really been struggling down this bottom end, even though obviously that breeze is blowing down. There are fish moving around, but it's very difficult down in these early numbers. So Lee's been struggling. Next to him is Dale Shepherd. He's struggling as well. And now we're starting to see more anglers fishing for silverfish on top kits. We've got Jack O'Sullivan, who's up there as well. He's catching a roach nearly every single drop in now. So he could be slowly putting a bit of a weight together. He's got a 5 pound F1. He's right further up there on the right hand side, just before you get to the island. And it's the same over on the Burr. The blocker on this end. He caught quite well. Yeah, he caught a few. He had a good start early on, but then it slowed down. And then working your way right the way up the Burr, it's a case of just getting the odd fish, unless they are fishing for silvers. So at this stage everyone's just being a bit patient and just trying to put anything in the net. Well, we're 2 hours in, and having had a really slow start, Andy Power is into another fish. Now this is his third fish in probably 15 minutes. He got one out of the blue, not a huge fish, probably 5 or 6 pound, but then he cast out and his tip went straight around and he hooked another one. That looks a much bigger fish, probably 8 pound. When you consider that possibly 6 or 7 net fish is actually the best up to now, this just shows you how quickly things can turn around. And you probably heard Phil then over the tannoy saying that Matt Pillay was into one. Matt is literally at the next peg, and we've had Matt down as winning this section. We're pretty sure Matt now must have, if he lands this one, possibly 7, maybe even 8 net fish. So we've got Matt as probably been one of the leaders on the lake. Ryan Lidgard's down to my left. He's into a fish. We're definitely seeing signs of it picking up now. So Andy's slowly getting back into this now. That was just a small fish from Ryan on my left. Let's just see if Andy nets this one, because if he does, this is going to put him within certainly 2 or 3 fish of the leaders. He's got it. So he must literally be 2 or 3 fish away from the leaders now. Currently behind Ryan Lidgard, swinging small silverfish in. He's netting the odd one. Now they're not huge fish, but if you see where he's fishing, look how close he's fishing. It's only shallow there as well. Loose feed in there, either maggots or casters, I would imagine. Let's see how quick he's getting bites. If those fish are 3, 4 to the pound, that one's a bit smaller, but he's ticking over putting silverfish in his net. This bottom section is fishing harder, whilst he's not contending to be winning the match at this stage. He is putting some fish in the net.
24, just about to land the cork. Robbie Taylor on 24.
Robbie Taylor's over there on the other bank. He's been ticking over, possibly doing the best over there from what I've heard, over on the Burr bank. He's right in contention. We've certainly got him winning that section over there. Scooped that one, and literally within 5 minutes of his last fish, Andy Power's into another one. So this will be his 4th fish in the space of 20 minutes. So he's really on the charge now. This is the man in question, Stephen Forster. Now he is one of the leaders now. I'm just going to get behind him and then just go up the bank a little bit for you. So as you can see, he's on the long pole. And he's been catching pretty much all sorts from what we hear. But Stephen being Stephen, he's just quietly getting on with it. 2 proper carp, a few F1s and some skimmers. Brilliant. Thanks for that, lads. And he's up to another fish there. Loose feeding over the top. Now my guess is that might have been meat. I don't know, but that seemed to land very soft. It is. His bank runner's just given me the nod. I've guessed right. So he's fishing a bait that on commercials this time of year can catch anything. Skimmers love the meat, but obviously carp do as well, and F1s. But we know it's going to change. He's lost it. We know it's going to change. It's definitely going to change. We're at the halfway stage and we're behind Christian. Christian's been ticking over. He had a few early on, then he had a little bit of a quiet spell. He's put the pole down now. He's still feeding to his right where those lilies are. We're only halfway. We think about eight net fish is currently winning, and it could really be any one of 5 or 6 anglers that he's actually leading at the minute. Andy Power has just got himself right back into it and had 4 fish in 30 minutes, so he must have 7 or 8 net fish now. Next to him is Matt Pillay on his right. He's the same number. Christian himself is right in it, certainly will be if he lands this one. Up to the right, Harry Campbell's doing well, but we don't think his fish possibly quite are big enough. We don't think so. And then if I just pan upwards slightly, on that other bank, the left-hand angler is Stephen Forster. He's ticking over nicely as well. He's potentially one of the leaders. He's had some net fish, but he's also had quite a few skimmers as well. So it's like another good stamp fish for Christian. And then the other angler we've got in the mix is over on the other bank, on the burr, and that is Robbie Taylor. He's got a similar number of net fish as well. We don't quite know if he's got many silvers, but certainly of his net fish we've got him right in it as well. We have got 2 or 3 anglers around the lake. We're obviously speaking to people on the bank and people watching, getting as much information as we can, so we're trying to be as accurate as we can. If Christian gets this and it's on the method, that's a lovely stamp fish, that one. So he is now literally one of probably 6 anglers now that are leading going into this halfway stage. Well, we've got 2 hours to go. This is Ryan McDonald. He's really struggled, to be fair, but this is his 2nd fish in quick succession. We know how quick things can turn around on this place, especially when you start getting, when it's past 3 o'clock now. Starting to see more anglers trying the margins. While Ryan's playing this one, he's got Christian at the next peg. He's down his margins, or quite a long way away from him, as you can see. He can go the far side of that lily bed, and usually when there's fish there you can see them. So Ryan's got a chance of getting back into this. I mean, there's almost 2 hours left, you know, there's loads of time. Andy Power just down to our left. The next angler there is Matt Pillay, and the next one down is Andy Power. He's just had 2 fish, so he's right in it at the minute. He could be pushing the leaders now, but with 2 hours to go, or almost 2 hours to go, there's still a long way to go, and some of these fish really are big fish. Most of the fish we've seen caught on this grass bank so far have been on rod and line tactics, either with a bomb or method feeder. I haven't seen any fish caught on the waggler, and that's a big fish. Christian's just had a good fish, and we think he could now be pushing for the lead now. Just had that one down his margins, just the far side of that lily bed. As it's gone 3 o'clock, this could be.
Jones just put a carp in his net from peg 8.
Put his top kit down. Why has he done that then? Is he going to feed, or is he having a change? It's gone 3 o'clock now, so this is the time when, if your margins are going to get going, this is the time when it could be. He's still pinging pellets out there on his bomb and method line. Let's see if he's going to have a change. We're now on 45 minutes. He's going to pot in. So we are now on 45 minutes to go. We think the leader, or the leaders could be, it's between Christian, who we're watching now, Andy Power, who's down to the left on peg 5, I think it is, down to the left. He's feeding his left hand margin. The other potential leader that we've got is possibly Steve Forster, who's over on the other bank. It looks like he's just potting in and going straight over the top of it. Let's just have a look how he's feeding it. Getting his spare sections there ready.
Andy Power from peg 5, just netting carp now. Andy Power on peg 5.
Andy Power's pushing hard now, so he is. He's just potting in and then going over the top of it. Just got back down to the bowl, and that looks like a very good fish being played. Des Ships there, he's been catching silverfish. That was another silverfish there going in his net. It's gone 3 o'clock now. This is the time when we expect margins to certainly get better, but we're expecting the sport to pick up for everyone. But it's still quite a long way to go. We're into the last 30 minutes and Matt Pilley is absolutely flying at the minute. He was a little bit behind. That's Christian Jones just netting a fish. You're currently watching Matt Pilley. This is peg 6 and he's literally had probably 5 or 6 fish in the space of half an hour, and that's another big fish. He's absolutely flying now, catching those fish down to his right. If you look down his right hand margin where that weed is, that's a big fish. Now he was behind Andy Power. Andy Power was one of the leaders. We think he still is one of the leaders. We think Matt can't be far behind him now. Andy is ticking over, he's catching steady, but he's not catching as quick as what Matt is. Obviously whether it continues for Matt, that will obviously be something that we find out over the next 30 minutes, but he's definitely catching better than anyone else on the lake at the minute. So we've got these two as being potential leaders, or Andy and Matt leading the competition. We've also got Christian Jones right down there in the white cap. He's fishing down his left hand margin. He's just ticking over, but the anglers on the bank were saying that he's got 60 pound plus now. One of the other leaders, so that's 3 of them that we've got, and one of the other leaders is right the way over there, is Stephen Forster. His bank runner was admitting to 50 pound, that was an hour ago, so we know he's doing well. We've been watching him. And then the other leader is over opposite where we are now, and he's kind of caught in spells. Caught really steady early on, but then the middle bit was really slow for him. He's now fishing down his left hand margin, as you can see, and he keeps picking off fish. He had one little spell that was good, then it went quiet, but then he caught a couple of fish, and the anglers that are watching him were saying that he's probably got as much as Andy Power. I haven't seen that, to be honest. I don't think he's got as much as Andy, but he's the other one that's potentially leading going into this final half hour. Well, there's literally about 5 minutes to go and it's absolutely hectic at the minute. Certainly for Andy Power and Matt Pilley, it's really picked up there. They're both catching down their margins and the fish that they're getting are a great stamp. We think it might keep Andy in front if he keeps catching. We don't know if Matt Pilley is going to catch him, and we don't know if Christian's going to catch him, because Christian hasn't been catching as quick, but he's been catching a much better stamp of fish. So these last few minutes and the odd lost fish as well could be very important. So we're almost there. Phil's got an assistant. So there we go. It's over. Well, that has been even closer than we imagined. We knew it was going to be difficult at any stage to try and guess who was in front. And that weigh-in is one of the tightest and closest weigh-ins that I've ever seen. It's just unreal how one fish could separate so many places, and I'm sure quite a few people will be counting And looking back on some of those lost fish and missed bites and missed opportunities and how much it may have cost them, but that's one of the closest weigh-ins I've seen, certainly the closest I've ever filmed. But we do have a champion.
Although it's fished hard for some, it's fished well for others. And looking at the score sheet, it's made it a very, very, very interesting final with very little weight between the top five. You know, one or two fish would have made all the difference, and I've seen quite a lot of fish hooked and lost, which you'll be kicking yourselves over when you look at these results. But that's the way it goes, that's fishing. We've been delighted here at Larford to host this, and the final for us has been absolutely great. Next year, with a bit of luck, that's the finish. I'm going to put it on that beast over there, on the Special Lake. Get ready for that. Right, I'll start off now, paying out the blocker, because the blockers do, as you all know, play a very important part in these matches. We've had 5 blockers participating today, all of which have done their very, very best to slow down end peg advantage. The winner of the blocker today picking up 100 quid, give him a round of applause, Mark Hawthorne with 136. Enjoyed your day, Mark, yeah? 100 quid, go and spend it in peace. Off you go. Mark Hawthorne, everybody, well done, Mark. Right, I'm going to start, as we always do, with the section winners. Now I'll start with the first section, this one down here, which was match 1 to 6, with a weight of £99 and 8 ounces and collecting 1,000 quid, Matt Pillay. Absolutely brilliant, Matt. There's your money, 1,000 quid. Matt Pillay, everybody! Right, section 7 to 12. Again, picking up £1,000 plus his trophy, and that goes to Christian Jones with 98.12. Come on, Christian, come on. There's £1,000, Christian, and your trophy section winner. There you go. Christian Jones, everybody, come on, give it up for him. Right, section 14 to 19, with a weight of 79.9, collecting his 1,000 quid plus his trophy, is Des Ship. Well done, Des. £1,000 in there for you, mate. Des Ship, everybody. And the last but not least, section-wise, this is numbers 20 to 26, with a weight of 97.7, picking his £1,000 up and his trophy goes to Rob Taylor. Well done, Robert. Is it T-A-Y-L-E-R? Will it go through? If not, I'll have to change it, so don't run off. Okay. Right, that's your section winners out of the way. Now then, in third place, and collecting £2,000 with a weight of £102 and 10 ounces, Ryan Bennett. Go on, Ryan. Well done, mate. Just check your checks, make sure it's all right. Very well done. Well done, Ryan Bennett. In second place, with a weight of £103 and 6 ounces, collecting £3,000, Steve Forster. Not a bad day at the office, Steve, when all's said and done. £3 mate. Check your checks made out correctly before you run off. Okay. Steve Forster, everybody. Guess what? Another envelope. I actually nicked this from Tesco yesterday, a gold envelope. I did. I seriously nicked it. Right. I nicked all three actually. Right, Golden Reel Champion 2023. It's his second Golden Reel title with a weight of £118 and 11 ounces, picking up £35,000. Andy Power!